Don't be hiding out from communications. Never blow off an opportunity. Somebody needs to talk to them. Maybe not the dealer principal, but you've got to have a designated person with some amount of authority who will screen that phone call. Don't ever blow off an opportunity. I'm sure everybody's seen the Crusades cartoon where they're about to go fight a battle with bows and arrows and spears, and there's a guy with a machine gun. The dealer too busy to see the guy with the machine gun. Next slide. Nobody talks to voicemail. Most receptionists blow more deals than any other employee in a dealership. Receptionists blow more deals than anybody else that works for you in most places. Take your calls, get the customer to their destination. Somebody talk to them. I'm talking about your customers, not just people like myself calling your dealership. You lose a lot of business because nobody can take the customer's call and shuffle them off into voicemail. Continual review of existing vendors. ROI, return on investment. I am continually not only measuring my current, and by the way, never trust statistics about a vendor supplied by the vendor. That makes sense? Or a company the vendor hired. Don't believe the statistics they show you, especially when they start mumbling some double talk bullshit about attribution. Well, we attribute it to the sale. Excuse me. Show me the money. Cuba Gooding Jr. Show me the money. Show me the deals. So, you want to get a better deal out of your current vendors? Just fire them. You want to get a better price from your current vendors? Fire them. They'll send in their national manager on a charter jet just to keep you aboard, right? Am I lying? Just fire them. And one thing you need to do with your vendors, all your vendors, is look at the EULA on their contract. Now, EULA means E-U-L-A, End User License Agreement. It tells you what they can do with your data after they steal it. Who they can resell it to, who can they redistribute it to. James Klaus, am I lying? I'm not lying. You need to read the EULA agreement on every contract. I wouldn't say any specific vendor, cars I kind of auto trader. But anyway. Anyway, continually review existing vendors. Next slide. When I was in F&I, most of my career I was in F&I. I was a record-setting F&I manager. I was a good sales manager. I wasn't a record-setting sales manager, but I was good. But F&I set records. And the reason I was a record-setting F&I manager was not my ability to sell high-dollar contracts. My ability to get them approved. I could work the banks, I could work the deals, I could work the customers with credit. And this long before special credit was even invented. Getting deals bought is a much more profitable skill than working in the box. Fewest conditions, best approvals. And one thing I did is I always looked for that new bank in town. Anytime a new bank approaches you, sign them up. Because they're going to have to show off for about 90 days. And if I couldn't get a deal approved and somebody else got it approved, I'm going to repull that customer bureau to see where they got it approved. If I can't get a customer bought and then some other dealer gets it bought, I'm pulling their bureau to see where they went. That make good sense? When I was selling F&I, I was with Banner Ford in Decatur, Georgia. And I was the first F&I manager in the world to do $1,000 a retail unit. That was a big deal. And all of a sudden, a dealer I was competing with started getting deals bought I couldn't hang. So I pulled the bureau, and it was First National Bank of Gwinnett County. So I called up First National Bank of Gwinnett County. And I said, I want to talk to your sales finance department. What is that? This is a little country bank. I said, your sales finance deals with car dealers. Oh, you mean Ethel and Fran? Oh, yeah, I want to talk to Ethel and Fran. So they put me on with Ethel and Fran, two nice old ladies like Aunt B and Mayberry. I said, Ethel and Fran, I'll just sign up with your bank. Now, you got to remember, my dealership was in the hood. This dealership had never dealt with customers in the hood. It was rough. And I'd call them up, I'd be talking to Ethel and Fran, I'd say, well, Mr. Ziegler, is this a good person? Oh, yes, ma'am. William is a fine man. You should approve this deal. Okay. I think I single-handedly put that bank out of business. Network, get a 20 group or some way you can network with other dealers. That's one of my strategies. I want to know best practices. The reason I have been so successful as a consultant to dealerships is I've dealt with thousands of them. I've seen the best things people do, the best practices they do. I have studied, I've networked. I have caught ups in every state except Alaska. I have worked the desk, I've worked F&I, and I've caught ups. TO customers, every state but Alaska, 49 out of 50. So I've seen best practices, and I bring those to you. Not because I'm so brilliant, because I have seen some brilliant things. Does that make good sense? Network with other people. Attend trade shows like this one. And when you attend trade shows, I want you to walk around and see what every one of these people does. I mean, our sponsors here today, you can't speak on my stage no matter how much you pay me. There are people that would throw big money at me to be here. And I could take that big money. There are some people that throw conferences and will do that. I don't need the money that bad. So if anybody's in this room, they're a reputable vendor. Because I told you so. That's just the way we do business. Next slide. Okay, strategy number 4. Marry your CRM. I created that phrase, marry your CRM, about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. It's gotten around, Chuck. I mean, people are starting to say, marry your CRM. What does that mean? Marry your CRM means your dealership runs. That CRM becomes the heartbeat of your dealership. Nobody is exempt from using the CRM. The CRM reports are, and by the way, when I went into Motorworks in Barrington, Illinois, 10 years ago, anybody familiar with Motorworks dealerships in Barrington? I know you are. You are. Motorworks sells 500 Highlines a month out of one showroom. Now, they were recently sold because the owner, Mr. Paul Tamraz, the man that hired me, had a major stroke, and they sold the dealership. But when I was working with Motorworks, they were already making $4,500 a unit on 500 cars. They had every major brand name. Mercedes, Porsche, Audi, they had them all. So I wasn't going to improve their volume that much. At $4,500 a unit, I didn't know how much I was going to improve that. But there's two things we did that improved that dealership. We improved them, I don't know, close to $2 million annually in an already successful dealership. The first thing I did is I made those people, their dealer made them, but he paid me a lot of money for the advice. They made them adopt a process. How do you sell cars? I got the Mercedes manager in a room, I said, with the dealer, and I said, how do you sell cars? Well, our people try to get a test drive, and they do this. And, well, you don't know how you sell it. You're making it up. You're just leaning back and pulling these things out of your anatomy. You don't have a process. You got a general idea of a process, but you don't have a process. Now, the road to the sale did not die Anybody here at the road to the sale is dead? Anybody seen those people? I've seen all the jacks that are pushing that. They couldn't sell a car. They couldn't sell prostitutes on a troop ship. But they're going to tell us how to do it. Excuse me.